Hi everyone, I hope you are doing very well. So welcome to 1st January 2025. Happy New Year to everyone. And I hope that this new year, that is 2025, will give you everything what you are wishing for, legitimate and positive things. Keep working on your goals and I hope that whatever you're wishing for, you definitely get it. And please put an effort to what you want and the things and the magic will certainly happen. So welcome to 1st January 2025. This is a very special session from Daily Decodes, from Insights IAS, where we are recapping what happened in 2024, what happened with India, what happened in international relations, geopolitics, and what could be expected in 2025, what should be the future, what should be the way forward. This is also we'll talk about in today's lecture. So let's move forward. And this is about me. I think you already know that. So happy New Year 2025, and I hope that you had a decent celebration. And if you were not able to celebrate, I hope that 2025 gives you a lot of moments to celebrate. So with this, today's quote which I am talking about would be New Year, new beginnings, embrace the journey ahead. So it's a new year, new beginnings will happen, and embrace the journey ahead means that whatever positive happens, whatever negative happens, whatever success you get, whatever failures you get, accept both of them. Because the problem is that we want to accept the positive, we want to accept the success, but when it comes to failures, we don't want to accept it. So that's, something, the life does not move like that, right? So sometimes we win the World Cups and sometimes we lose the Test series. I also felt bad what happened in the Melbourne Test, but it is what it is. We are all fans of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, many others. You know that I always give cricket analogies. But similarly, with success, failures will come, we'll criticize, we'll do everything. But at the end of the day, you need to accept the failure, success, the crest and troughs of life, move ahead, and that is how life works. But important thing is that you need to continuously change yourself, accept the new change, keep working on your goals, keep putting in effort, and things will start happening. So before I move forward, the OGP 2026 batch would be starting on 2nd January 2025. For all details, you can call on the number 80 69 40 5205. This course will include GS, CSAT, SA, and it is under the guidance of Vinay sir, who is the founder and director of Insights IAS. If you're preparing for prelims, mains, test series, whatever is your requirement, and if you're looking for dedicated guidance, please call on this number for all details, and you can also scan the QR code for details. Now, moving towards what would be the agenda for today. The agenda for today is very straightforward, focusing on India recap, and India's international relations, and then what happened geopolitically, internationally, because this year, if you see, it has been a turmoil in international relations. The Donald Trump presidency has come. It would be starting on 20th January or January, this month of January, it would be starting. New geopolitical scenarios will come. Israel war is still continuing, if we can say. In February 2025, 3 years of Russia-Ukraine war. And then what happened in 2024? Israel, Hamas, Israel, Houthi, Israel, Iran. And what happened in Syria? The HTS has come. So 2024 geopolitically has been in a lot of turmoil. The global economy seems to be on a moderate level, growing around somewhere around 2.5 to 2.8%, just to be somewhere precise, or if I'm correct, around 2.7 or 2.8%. What I remember, that should be the moderate growth of the world economy. So we'll come to that also. So we'll talk about India recap, international recap, and resolution 2025. So we all talk about resolution. Once a new year starts, 10 resolutions, 5 resolutions, and within 5 days, 7 days, those resolutions also die out. So what can be a scientific formula that we apply and our resolutions can be great? So I'll also give you this. So this is like an add-on to your preparation, that this is the resolution I want. What can be a resolution? Okay, how should I complete my Lakshmikant? How should I complete my history syllabus? All these things, we'll also talk about that. So in this context, recap India 2024. If I talk about India, if you see, Manipur is still burning. At the same time, the Home Ministry is talking about in 2026, March 31st, Naxalism should be over in Chhattisgarh. At the same time, he's talking that the terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir has come down, but in Jammu, the militancy has increased. So certain areas, the conflict has increased, certain area conflict has come down. New government had come in 2024. It's the NDA government's third term, Prime Minister Modi's third term. and a lot of international visits happened. Bangladesh, the crisis started. Sheikh Hasina had to fled the country. She came to India in August, and she's in exile. From the point of view of Bangladesh, relationship between India and Bangladesh is not good. Myanmar is also going through that military junta versus rebel issues. So the external countries or our neighbors, they are affecting our internal policies also. We'll talk about that also. So ongoing conflicts in Manipur. In Manipur, the passing of national icons, we lost Dr. Manmohan Singh, Ratan Tata sir, and Ustad Zakir Hussain. We have lost these national icons. So this is what 2024 has been. It has been a mixed bag. Certain lot of success in space, lot of success by ISRO in weapons, DRDO, hypersonic weapons, sports, D Gukesh, Olympics. So lot of success, lot of areas where we need to work upon. We needed to have a census. Again, it has got delayed. So countries' resilience has also shown through space exploration, sporting triumph, diplomatic success, and environment victories. So we'll go, I've taken certain pictures with the courtesy of the Indian Express. We'll go what happened month-wise. It will help you, revising what happened every month. For example, in January 6th, ISRO's Aditya L1 spacecraft first solar mission, again very important from a prelims fact point of view. So L1 Lagrangian point from the point of view of the sun location, very important mission, Aditya L1. So successfully enters the final orbit. This was a January 6th news. 12th of January PM, the Prime Minister inaugurates Mumbai Trans Harbour Link, longest bridge in India connecting Mumbai with Navi Mumbai. Multiple photographs came, and obviously the government at that time, took a lot of credit for that also. It was all over Instagram, YouTube, that this is how Mumbai is developing. Yes, Mumbai is developing, but the Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, or Kolkata, these are not only cities where the development should happen. It should trickle down to tier 2 and tier 3 cities where the development is a huge necessity. It's good that Mumbai is having development. Other cities also need it. January 14th, Rahul Gandhi commences Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra from Imphal, Manipur. It started from Imphal, Manipur. Northeast it started, and again, it is said that the revival of Congress and how Congress was able to perform in 2024 national election, one of the reasons behind that was Bharat Jodo Yatra also. January 22nd, Ram Mandir at Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh inaugurated. January 24th, Hindenburg Research publishes report alleging stock manipulation and fraud by Adani Group. Now Hindenburg and the George Soros, both of this linking person, it is also said that they are part of the American deep asset, and even the current BJP party, they have been very critical of Hindenburg, that they try to make money out when the stocks fall. This short-term money they want to make out when the stocks of Adani and other companies fall. So January 31st, Jharkhand CM Hemant Soren arrested by ED in connection with money laundering linked to land scam. So money laundering has been in the news. You can expect a question in your mains about it. Money laundering, ED and money laundering has been very much in news in 2024. Let's come to February. Uttarakhand Legislative Assembly passes Uniform Civil Code Bill. Again, UCC is something which is very important from the point of DPSP, from the point of polity, and I think in the coming days we would see UCC moving forward. One nation, one election is already moving forward, so Uniform Civil Code we also can expect. Election held to elect 65 or 245 members of Rajya Sabha, BJP winning around more than 30 seats. Then coming to March 11th, Citizenship Amendment Act implemented to grant citizens to persecuted minorities from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh. When I talk about persecuted minorities, this does not include Muslims. It is basically talking about Hindus and other communities, because in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, majority community is Muslims. So this is one of the context, and the minority which was subjugated is Hindus there. For example, if you see what is happening in Bangladesh, the butchering and killing of minority Hindus has happened. Even for that matter, even Christians is happening. Even churches are being vandalized in Bangladesh. I'm talking about today, which what we saw in November, December. March 14th, Election Commission publishes data on electoral bonds submitted by SBI. Supreme Court struck down the electoral bond scheme, deeming it's unconstitutional, and electoral bond scheme goes into the garbage. March 21st, ED arrests Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal in connection with Delhi excise policy case. Later on, he definitely gets the bail also. So again, coming to April, Arunachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly election, BJP wins. So again, a political news. April 19, 2024, Sikkim Legislative Assembly election, SKM Sri Krantikari again. So a new government comes there. Okay, so election news. Uh, May Calcutta High Court issues an order invalidating all other backward classes certificate issued by West Bengal government. So invalidating the OBC certificates. Cyclone Remel makes landfall in West Bengal. So certain times this fact come, where did the cyclone Remel came, or certain cyclone which in Tamil Nadu came. So a question can come, match the following. Or they can also ask a question, what is the reasons behind, what are the 4-5 conditions required for a tropical cyclone, or what is, they'll give different names, tropical cyclone or cyclone, what they're called in Australia, or where they are called, hurricanes or typhoons, etc. These are standard questions which we have seen in prelims. So, and also in 2024 mains, they had asked a question about tropical cyclones, because number of cyclones were increasing. They were going towards Shanghai also, where they never used to go. So tropical cyclone, because of the climate change, the temperature of this ocean is increasing. So once it reaches around 27 degrees, the chances of tropical cyclone increases. June, Narendra Modi returns as the Prime Minister for a third consecutive term. So the BJP, they have not been able to get the seats what they were intending, but again, NDA has been able to form the government. Controversy erupts over the discrepancies. June 4th, again the NEET issue comes, and it takes all over the country over the cheating and everything, what happens in NEET, and later on some guidelines will also come. June 4th, Odisha legislative election, BJP is able to win 78 seats, and by ending the 24-year rule of Naveen Patnaik, who has been in the power for a very long period of time. Then June 9, the deadly Reasi attack happens in Jammu region of Jammu and Kashmir, and 9 people are killed, and this is by Lashkar-e-Taiba militants. So Lashkar-e-Taiba is a Pakistan-sponsored terrorist group. It is based in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. It is based out of Pakistan. They get all the money and funding from them, and they do a massive attack in Reasi. It's around a bus, and a lot of people are killed. This also shows that the militants attacking in the Jammu regions have increased. This started in 2020, and by 2024 it has increased. If you remember, on 30th of December also we have discussed that the militancy in Jammu region has increased. So if you go on 30th December 2024 Daily Decodes, you will see, remember the news that I took all the maps and explained you. So June 17, Kanchenjunga train accident, the new government has come. One after another, more incidents were happening. So Kanchenjunga Express near Jalpaiguri station, the trains had collided. President Draupadi Murmu inaugurates the 18th Lok Sabha, which we are currently in the 18th Lok Sabha. June 29th, India beats South Africa and wins the 2024 ICC Men's T20 World Cup. This is the first ICC trophy of Rohit Sharma, and finally India, after lot of trophies which we were trying, going to semi-finals and finals, we are finally able to win this. July 1st, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita and other laws passed in 2023 comes into effect, replacing the colonial era laws, Indian Penal Code, etc. Then Hathras stampede happens. At least 123 people die in crowd at religious event in Hathras, Uttar Pradesh. If you remember that we also had recently done an editorial, it was on Pushpa 2, that the stampede happens, and the woman lost his life, the mother lost his life, and even his child was injured. So it was talking about that how we need to have guidelines, because I think it was Sandhya Theatre, if I remember, where Allu Arjun movie was being there, and he made a surprise visit, and because of that stampede and etc. happens, and one person lost his life. I don't remember exactly the theatre name. It must be somewhat this. So this again, Hathras stampede. So do we have guidelines? What can be done so that the stampede does not happen? We have covered this in editorial also. 12th July, Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant wedding. Oh, I think everybody knows about it. They had taken over the entire over the entire world by storm. It was all about their wedding, what they were wearing, what watches they were wearing, everything. The news was, Anant and Radhika Merchant's wedding. I think you must have gone through those videos. Even if you don't want to, they must have been, forced on your feed. Next is WazirX, Indian cryptocurrency exchange, announces over rupees 2,000 crore security breach. And with this also, I want to talk about cryptocurrency is rising like anything. If I'm last what I saw, it has crossed more than $1 lakh, and it is around 85 lakhs or 90 lakhs around this. And with the coming of Trump supports the cryptocurrency, it is rising like anything. 23rd July, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman presents the Union Budget. July 28th and 30th is very important because Manu Bakar at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris wins 2 medals. So first at the 10-meter air pistol and second with Sarabjot Singh. July 30th, Wayanad landslide kills 231. So if you see 2nd July, Hathras stampede, Wayanad landslide. So these are, some kind of disaster happens. In the landslide, obviously the issue is a bit of natural catastrophe, but on the other side, Hathras stampede, that, we could have even had better procedures, because when most of the stampede is happening because of some cinema event or some celebrities coming or religious event or a political rally. Most of this time, these are the 3 major areas the stampede happens. Let's come to August. 1st August, Swapnil Kusale wins bronze medal in men's 50-meter rifle at 2024 Paris Olympics. 5th August, a deadly day or dreaded day for Sheikh Hasina, I would say. She need to flee from her country. She takes, choppers and planes and lands in India. And if she would have not come, I think by now she might have been assassinated or killed, or probably she would have been in a jail without any rights. Thank God she has been able to come, and this is the start of the strain which is coming, which has come in the India-Bangladesh relationship. So Sheikh Hasina seeks refuge. Vinesh Phogat is disqualified from Paris Olympics because falling in weight by 100 grams. India wins bronze medal in men's hockey. Wonderful news. Neeraj Chopra wins silver, and the Pakistan is able to win the gold, but Neeraj Chopra again gets the silver. Aman Sherawat wins bronze medal in men's freestyle. Protests erupt over the rape and murder of a postgraduate trainee doctor at Kolkata RG Kar Hospital, and this takes the entire West Bengal by storm. And even the trainee doctors were not listening to the Mamata Banerjee. Eventually, over a month now, the movement seems to dying out. Let's come to September. So 2024 Tripura Peace Accord ends 35-year-old insurgency in Tripura. So a very important positive news coming from Tripura. September 7th, clashes between Kuki and Methi communities, Manipur kill 5 people. So these clashes started in May 2023. Even in September 2024, they have been going. Even when I talk about January 2025, they are still going on. The security has been beefed up. There is a lot of security. AFSPA has been again put in Manipur. But apart from the security forces, there are multiple issues. The issue which is going in Bangladesh, which Bangladesh supporting the current Pakistani regime, and Bangladesh under the chief advisor Muhammad Yunus. Now this person is supporting the terror groups. This person is supporting the extremist group like Jamaat-e-Islami. So they might send weapons or drugs or whatever these insurgent groups need in the area in northeast. And the porous border which Manipur, Nagaland and Mizoram share with Myanmar struggling with the issue of military junta versus rebels. This porous border also becomes a problem because Myanmar is one of the epicenter countries of Golden Triangle, which is an epicenter of drugs and illegal trafficking of drugs, weapons, etc. So in this context, the Kuki, Methi tribes, this issue is boiling like anything. No solution has come till now. I hope solution comes in January 2025, or for that matter, 2025 as soon as possible. September 12th, veteran CPI leader Sitaram Yechury dies at 72. Arvind Kejriwal resigns at Delhi CM. Atishi takes over. 18th September, Andhra Pradesh CM Chandrababu Naidu allegation of animal fats in Tirupati Laddu. This was again a lot in the news. September 19, relationship between India and Canada hits new low due to later alleged leniency towards Khalistan supporters. I think we have covered this a lot in Daily Decodes, what happened between India and Canada. And today, if you see, Donald Trump calls Canada's Prime Minister governor. He says Canada will be my 51st state. So this is the reputation today of Justin Trudeau. He is there on this seat for just some days. If election happens now, this person is not coming back to par. His approval ratings are less than 20-25% today. Okay. Now, October 5th, Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly election and National Conference wins. Again, this is a victory of democracy, a huge victory of democracy, that when this election happens, no terror attack happened and the entire population of Jammu and Kashmir participates, and finally a wonderful election happens. October 9th, industrialist Ratan Naval Tata dies 86. He has been a legend. The more I talk about this, less it is, and huge contribution to India, huge contribution to Indian Indian business machinery, and at the end of the day, he is a humongous industrialist which India has lost. So I hope in future more people like him come. India and Chinese negotiators arrive at patrolling arrangement of the line of actual control. Positive development happens between India and China. This basically happens during the 16th Kazan summit, which happens in Russia. October 29, 10 elephants die from suspected fungus poisoning from consuming contaminated millet at Bandhavgarh National Park, Madhya Pradesh. So Bandhavgarh National Park becomes important. Now let's come to November. So November 1st, Rohit Bal, the designer, he dies at 63. Donald Trump is elected 47th US president. Everyone was, if you go through the newspaper at that time, they were already declared the victory. Kamala Harris is coming. Avengers, Hollywood heroes, New York Times, Washington Post, positive article. Kamala Harris is coming. Kamala Harris is coming. And when the result came, Kamala Harris is not coming. Donald Trump came. Okay, Donald Trump decimated Kamala Harris. The 7 swing states, the Democrats were not even able to win a single swing state. That was the support of Donald Trump. And I'm not here pro Donald Trump or pro Kamala Harris. I am just talking about how media was portraying that Kamala Harris has won the election. It is, just a formality to do the election. But the result came something else. And now today, Donald Trump and his party, the Republicans, they have House of Representatives, they have Senate also, so they can come up with whatever the bill they want and probably will get the majority also over it. So November 8th, Supreme Court overturns 1967 Aziz Basha case calling for assessment of AMU minority status, and Supreme Court also gives the decision in their favors later on. 50th Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud retires at this point of time. This 1st November to 10th November 2024, lot of, Supreme Court polity related news had come. I had covered a lot in Daily Decodes, which are very important for UPSC prelims and mains. Please go about that session. It will really help you. You can watch all those Daily Decodes. The playlist is there in YouTube series of Insight IAS. You can go. November 11th, Vistara ceases operation following merger with Air India. Wonderful airlines, but it has merged with Air India. Fire in the neonatal ward of Jhansi Hospital kills 10 infants. Maharashtra Assembly elections, again the BJP wins, or the NDA alliance wins there, or the alliance is called Mahayuti alliance wins. Agadi loses out there, and they also won the Haryana, the Congress should have won. That was generally the sentiment, but they again lose. Now November 20th, Gautam Adani, his nephew Sagar Adani, and 6 others indicted by US prosecutors and other agencies. And just before that, the US prosecutors and FBI is also, they had told that this Gurpan Singh Pannu, the Khalistanis, the Americans are supporting him, and they are saying that Indians are trying to kill him. And there is a person called Vikas Yadav. He hired Nikhil Gupta, and Nikhil Gupta was trying to get assassinator who would have killed. This is also a news I had covered in Daily Decodes. So obviously Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani, they have said these all charges are false. November 24th, clashes over mosque survey in Sambhal, Uttar Pradesh, leaves 4 dead. Now, December we have come, December 2024, protesters storm Bangladeshi consulate in Agartala over arrest of Hindu leader Chinmoy Krishnadas. This was again covered a lot in Daily Decodes, what is happening in Bangladesh. And this was, Chinmoy Das, the case was that, so there was a Bangladesh flag over which the saffron flag was kept. And this is also allegedly, and he later apologized also that, that was not the intent. It was just by mistake, and a lot of cases were put. And there was also talking about, let's ban the ISKCON. And they were talking about, and Muhammad Yunus was talking about that we have all the minorities have rights. Just to tell you, even after all this, the Foreign Secretary of India, Vikram Misri went there, he spoke to them, and he said what happened at Tripura and all these at the High Commissioner of Bangladesh, we apologize, it should not happen. But similarly, he told that what is happening with Hindus and the minorities being killed and butchered, this is wrong. So Bangladesh said that this is our internal affair. But on the other side, India said that we would be looking into, this is how nations, the bigger nations work. This is how diplomatically you talk. And this is the same Bangladesh where we are giving rice to them. And this is the same country which does not even have food. And they are borrowing food, and even India is giving food to them. They don't even have electricity. but you don't have anything but attitude. See, a lot of attitude and ego, I don't know about what, when a country is trying to help you out. So December 4th, Assam bans public consumption of beef. D. Gukesh, 18, becomes the youngest world chess champion, and what he has been able to prove. So tabla maestro Zakir Hussain dies at 73. One nation, one election bill introduced in parliament. Ravi Chandra Ashwin announces retirement for international cricket, and if news are correct, probably by the end of the Sydney cricket, Sydney match, maybe Rohit Sharma also announces his retirement if the series doesn't go his way or goes his way. I don't know. Again, I'm speculating. And December 26, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh sir dies at 92. He's the person behind the LPG. He's the person behind the new economic policy 1991. He was the person behind the India-US nuclear deal. We had covered a good detailed session about what has been the contribution of late Dr. Manmohan Singh, who has been a finance minister, prime minister for 2 terms, and many more things which he had achieved. So all these pictures were through the courtesy of Indian Express I've taken. I hope that you had a recap of the entire year, what has happened. Apart from that, I've also added certain slides also which were not there in that information, like at the 75th Republic Day, 144% tri-services women contingent was there. The theme was Vikasit Bharat and Loktantra ki Matruka, and French President Emmanuel Macron was chief guest. Jammu and Kashmir elections I've already covered with you. Okay. Diplomatic milestone, repatriation of Navy veterans. You remember that 8 Navy veterans, they were given, that they would be hanged or death sentence, but the Indian Navy veterans from Qatar, we were able to get them back, highlighted our diplomatic strength, strengthened ties with France. Okay, a sporting triumph, T20 World Cup, Asia Hockey Championship under the Harmanpreet Singh leadership. We had won the 5th title. Paralympic glory, Avni Lekra, Navdeep Singh and Sheetal Devi. Navdeep Singh, you must have seen, he had, I think if I'm correct, he had met the Prime Minister also. Chess World Championship, we have already covered. Then environmental conservation, the Raghu, the one-horned rhino, released in Dudhwa National Park after 4 decades. Vibrant Village program, very important from the point of geopolitics and geopolitics and international relation. So the Chinese are doing this, border defense villages which they are putting towards the Arunachal side, that there are population is staying, and if Indian army attacks, then they would, so that they are attacking our population. Similarly, we are also working on the village vibrant program to counter the China's Xinjiang border defense villages strategy. Also, from the point of view of environment, nothing great happened. The COP meeting happened in Azerbaijan, Baku, but nothing came out. The countries were talking about getting $1 trillion per year for to fight the climate change. Only it moved from $200 billion to $300 billion. India and many other countries were not very much happy about it. Okay. So landmark achievement, ExpoSat launch was there. Aditya L1, Chandrayaan 3 discoveries, reinforcing India's leadership in lunar science. And by the end of, on 30th December, there was a launch of PSLV 660 Spardex space docking experiment. I think on 30th December, I had discussed this in a detail. You can go on that session. There was 2 important things. There was one, your chaser and target launched from this Satish Dhawan Space Center. So a lot of things happened from space point of view. Advancement in governance, new criminal laws, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, zero FIR, e-summons. If you remember, we also spoke about, did a daily decode of Chandigarh, how Chandigarh is implementing it. Okay. CAA implementation, 100 years of Rajpur, the Kapoor family had met the Prime Minister also. Okay, and Manipur is going on. Census has got delayed. Okay, and passing of national icons. So decadal census delayed since 2021 remained unscheduled. So this is a problem Manipur I've already discussed with you. So in conclusion, it was a year of grief and glory coexisted, showcased in unyielding spirit. The country is moving forward. And what can be the future? Harnessing momentum in space exploration, that is towards Gaganyaan and multiple other coming missions. Strengthening democracy, governance, democratic values, justice, governance should be strengthened. Promoting unity amid diversity, national pride, fostering, this should be focused. Expanding diplomatic influence, specifically India's diplomatic influence towards America, Israel, Middle East, Russia, Ukraine. We have a wonderful influence. We need to have good influence over our neighbors also, specifically Bangladesh, Myanmar, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka. Recently, Anurag Dissanayake, who became the president of Sri Lanka, he was also on a visit to India, and it was a good visit. And he said that the Sri Lankan territory would not be used against the Indian security. Majorly, he was talking about the Chinese vessels and the Chinese intentions. So good visits, but Sri Lanka seems to be good. Maldives have taken a U-turn, become pro-India. So this is good, but Bangladesh and Myanmar we need to work upon. Nepal, the Prime Minister Oli is sitting in the lap of China. That's a problem. And Pakistan, I can't say much because Pakistan, it is what it is. You know, it is a terror-based group now. Even Taliban and Tehrik-e-Taliban is killing them like anything. And obviously, it's a vassal state of China. So pioneering environment conservation, biodiversity, build sustainable communities, we need to focus. Empowering youth in sports, more infrastructure. If we want more medals in Olympics, our medals was less compared to, I think, the last Olympics. We need to work upon that. Resolving internal conflicts by addressing root cause, peace and stability. Root cause, it can be deprivation, it can be poverty. See, if you go in Chhattisgarh, if you go into the roots of Naxalism, how these movements started, or insurgency, majority of them started because there was no development happening. So if we are able to find resolution, it would be good. Now, moving towards, this was what happened in India. Okay, I hope you understood what happened in India in the terms of national politics, national issues. Let's move towards international. So recap India's IR and geopolitics 2024, India's year of diplomacy. So in this January 8, former, I think, Navy personnel Katara, we have already done this. The Prime Minister met Russian Vladimir Putin, and he was also given the highest medal. So, you know, I've maintained this in, you know, continuously in the daily decodes. I always say that India is one of those countries which can talk to Ukraine, which can talk to Russia, which can talk to Iran, which can talk to Israel, which can talk to America, which can talk to Europe. We are sitting at that pivot. We are sitting on that comfortable position. We have this dehyphenation, and all the countries in the world want to talk to us. And if you see the visits of Prime Minister from Russia to Ukraine, to Poland, to Nigeria, to Guyana, to Rio de Janeiro, to Kuwait, multiple visits of the Prime Minister and his team. They're traveling to so many countries for mineral resources, for trade, for quid pro quo, everything. So a very heavy year for international diplomacy by India. So Modi visit to Moscow, PM condemned the civilian casualties, also the missile attack which happened on children, and he told the Putin that this, you know, this era, this decade, the coming years, this is not an era of war. This is era of economy, growing growth. War will not resolve the problems. And if I talk about today, I think the Russia-Ukraine war by the end of February, March, or even prior to that might come to an end, because everyone is waiting for when Donald Trump takes the presidency, and that is why the conflict right now is escalating like anything between Russia and Ukraine, both trying to get maximum territories from each other. That is why drone attacks by Ukraine also happened in Kazan, you know, one of the wealthiest cities of Russia, where the 16th BRICS summit also happened. August, the PM became the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Ukraine. He also visited Poland also. Met President Volodymyr Zelensky, urging both sides to negotiate peace, reiterated India's readiness to mediate. If you remember, when the Indian Prime Minister went to Russia, he had hugged, and Putin, nobody liked it. Europe did not like it. America did not like it. At the same time, he did with Zelensky. And India has, you know, maintained that we have strategic autonomy. We know what we need to do with Ukraine, what we need to do with Russia. We are very clear about our goals. Okay. So September, October, Canada, India diplomatic fallout. We had covered this issue like anything. So the problem is that the Prime Minister Trudeau, he is being supported by a party called NDP, New Democratic Party. It's a party of Jagmeet Singh. I think they have given a support of around 12, 13 seats. And because of 13 seats, Justin Trudeau is in power. And this NDP is the front facade of the Khalistan movement. And because of this, Justin Trudeau, because of this support, he keeps, you know, talking about, you know, he said that the Hardeep Singh Nijjar, the terrorist who was killed, the Khalistani who was killed, he was killed by, you know, initially it was told that the Prime Minister is involved, National Security Advisor is involved, his ministers were writing articles in Washington Post, and this issue escalated. It started in 2023, it continued in the G20 in 2023 in India, and then finally around October, they were also saying that the diplomatic immunity which has been given to Indian diplomats like Sanjay Verma, that should be removed, and they are persons of interest and we need to interrogate them. So India said that you have any proofs against them? They said no, we don't have any proofs. You find the proofs and give it to them. So they are asking an accused person that you find a proof and prove that you are the actual the criminal. That is how the law and order works in Canada. And this we all know why Trudeau was doing, because Trudeau was being pressurized by the Khalistani and the NDPs. And eventually it led to, the High Commissioner Sanjay Verma, he left, the team left, 5-6 diplomats left from there. From Canada, they were also fired, and the relationship between India and Canada is not good. The best part is, Donald Trump does not like Justin Trudeau. Elon Musk does not like Justin Trudeau. And I think in the coming months, right now, even that NDP party, Jagmeet Singh is also saying that I will not support and he should come down, Justin Trudeau. If the next no confidence motion happens, Justin Trudeau might lose the seat, and maybe the next election also happens. If it does not happen, the elections are slated to happen in October 2025 this year. So this was your the Canada one. Then breakthrough between China and border standoff. So after 21 meetings of Foreign Ministry and External Affairs and around 17 meetings at the commander level, finally a resolution happened between India-China border standoff, which started around April 2020, and disengagement has started. From disengagement, we would move to de-escalation. From de-escalation, we would move to de-induction, finally the normalization of these areas. So multiple meetings have happened. This meeting happened at 16th Kazan summit at the 16th BRICS summit, which happened in Kazan, Russia. Very successful summit for India. And around, I think now the BRICS has around 9 members. It was initially told it should be 10, but Saudi Arabia, I think they have not still accepted it. So it's around 9. 34 more countries have they are talking about they want to join the BRICS, because India, Russia and China are talking about global south. And in the context of India and China, the relationship is improving. But again, I keep repeating, when you talk about China, China is a country, it's a dragon with a forked tongue. We need to be very cautiously optimistic about China. What is their thought process? Because they're talking about, visas and Mansarovar yatras and, going, pre-2020, pre-April 2020, the relationship and flights, everything. Because the Chinese economy is coming down, Chinese will not be able to achieve their economic target, and they also know that the Donald Trump has come in the power. So all this, the gimmicks which China is doing, it's good that India want to use China for our economic benefits, but again, we need to be very cautiously optimistic about China's and intentions. Okay, India-Pakistan interaction. So External Affairs Minister attended the SCO summit in Islamabad. And Pakistan was expecting trade will start, cricket will start, nothing of that. It was a SCO summit. Jai Shankar sir went there, attended the meeting, came out, nothing. And he was very clear the relationship with Pakistan will start when they stop doing terrorism. Otherwise, nothing is starting. Okay, so November strained relationship with Bangladesh. This is already ongoing. The relationship is, ruined, and, multiple time meetings have happened in the terms of the foreign secretary going or the High Commissioner meeting. But currently the Bangladesh, led by the Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus, he is pro-Pakistan, he is pro-China, he is pro-extremist groups, and his entire intention is, that how to belittle India, how to give negative statements against India, rather than economically moving the country forward. So it's a very sad state that under the Sheikh Hasina, this country was moving forward. Obviously, there was a time of authoritarian rule or the problems which came, but this country is currently struggling. Probably they have around 18 to 20 billion dollars of forex, which might give them 1 to 2 months of running the country. Otherwise, this country is borrowing rice and basic food material from, or asking for, please give this, otherwise the country is very difficult to survive. So we need to be watchful for Bangladesh. India-China high-level talks continued. This is basically after the Kazan summit, special representative meetings. Even at the Rio, the meeting happened between External Affairs Minister and the Chinese Foreign Minister, that is Wang Yi. So relationship is improving between India and China. So key developments in Indo-Pacific. So greater emphasis on Indo-Pacific region, enhancing regional connectivity with South Asia and Central Asia, strengthening partnership to counterbalance China's growing influence. This is something. So countering them, we can use Quad to do that. So diplomatic challenges and engagement, US relation. So I think even if the Democrats would have come, Democrats come, Republicans came, the majority of the relationship between India and US would be strengthened only. There can be a problem in, like for Trump when coming, Trump is focusing on tariff. So there might be a problem of tariff. Otherwise, defense, critical technology, this will continue because India is a very important partner for America in Indo-Pacific, specifically from the countering the China point of view. So be it Democrats, be it Republicans, certain part of the policies would be same. Okay, so there was an issue of pro-Khalistan, that murder for hire Gurpan Pannu, I talked about that. And second term of US President-elect Donald Trump. So he would be focusing on trade. Tariff is an issue which we need to resolve between India and uh, US. So India withdrew military personnel from pro-China President Mohammad Musu. So he was pro-China even when he became the president. His first visit was not to India, but it was to Turkey. On the other hand, when Sri Lankan president, won his elections, his first formal official visit was to India. So this also tells you where the first visit is happening. Okay, and first visit of Nepal's Prime Minister Oli was to China. But again, in Nepal, Prime Minister, how many days or months they are? Their constitution, it keeps on changing. Their Prime Minister keeps on changing. Okay, but anyways, Maldives has now taken a U-turn and now it has suddenly become pro-India also. So in conclusion, India's 2024 foreign policy demonstrated resilience, adaptability, balancing diplomacy. From Nigeria, Ghana, Rio, Coyote, Kuwait. Again, I think more than 40, after 43 years, an Indian Prime Minister visited Kuwait. And Kuwait is a very important, if you see, it's near the Persian Gulf, very important location from the point of view in oil and gas. It is very important. The last Prime Minister who visited Kuwait was Indira Gandhi, 1981. So important country, and from the Middle East. Middle East is a very important area for UPSC also and for international geopolitics also. So year ended with a mix of strained relation breakthroughs, positioning India on the global stage committed to peace, cooperation, regional stability. In terms of countries which are away from us, Israel, America, Russia, Ukraine, majority of the countries, we have done well. Neighbors is something which we need to find a better solution. Maldives, it's okay, but we need to keep an eye. China, we are working on it. And then if I talk about Bangladesh and Myanmar, certain areas, we need to be very cautious about them. A vigil eye, should be on these countries. So way forward should be strengthening relationship with the immediate neighbor. This is very important for us. Okay. And deeper engagement with the Indo-Pacific, we can use Quad to do that. Strategic handling of US relations once the Donald Trump comes, how our thought process would be, how our diplomacy and economics or finance minister would be dealing. These are certain areas. So I think this is not a problem. Indo-Pacific is not a problem. Major problem which I find in 2025 would be relation with the immediate neighbor, rebuilding ties with Bangladesh. Specifically, the problem is that the current regime is very much anti-India and pro-Pakistan, pro-militants, pro-extremist. How do India deals with this? This would be the tricky part. Maybe after coming of Trump, we can do some geopolitical games. Let's see what comes. So we need to have a watchful eye on Pakistan, Myanmar, and the other neighbors also. So sustained momentum with China, it should continue. But again, I keep using this word, cautiously optimistic. Think, think, mutual respect, mutual trust before we move forward. And expand diplomatic influence through forums like, G20, even for that matter, we were invited to G7, BRICS, because India is now seen as a country who talks about global south, who talks about those countries, who are not able to get the access to these big forums. So that is why the importance of BRICS is improving. And obviously in the BRICS summit, there was a talk of de-dollarization, and Trump had given a statement that if the de-dollarization, I will put a lot of tariffs on, double the tariffs on, Trump basically gets up every morning and said tariff, tariff, tariff. So in one of the session, we'll also talk about that. Does this strategy of tariff, 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 does it work, or it is only, bogus claims by Donald Trump? But I'm very sure he would be putting a lot of tariffs on China. So G20, SCO, BRICS, India need to use them. Okay. Proactively address the diaspora concerns in various countries. For example, the Prime Minister did visit the diaspora in Kuwait also. Focus on regional stability, very important. And consolidate position as a global leader. I think in this, the government has done very well and we are moving forward very good in this. Okay. Now moving international geopolitics 2024. So we have covered what happened with India and India's context. India's context of international relation. I think I've covered this. Now we are just moving to the last part. Three important parts. India, the national, what happened in the country. Second part, India and international. And third part, now international. So this part I've divided something like this, that if we take a plane, and if it moves across the countries, what's happening? So the first country which we reach is South Korea. Okay. So South Korea we reach. South Korea is not in the map. So we'll go to different countries and cover this. So obviously North Korea also, North Korea, if I take North Korea and Russia is having a good relationship. So North Korea is sending 11 to 12,000 troops and Russia would be giving them critical technologies of missile and etc. So this relationship is happening, and most of these soldiers, they have not been battle tested so much and they are being killed in the Russia-Ukraine war. So Russia and North Korea relationship has also strengthened. So in South Korea, if you remove that the massive protest erupt over impeached President Yoon Kyu-yeol attempted martial law. It started by the morning, ended by the evening, and the South Koreans did not like, because South Koreans' history, if you go, there is a lot of the martial laws and they have gone through this harassment. They are totally against it. So Constitutional Court to decide on his fate. Nation faces heightened political and social tension. This news also told us that South Korea, which is known for BTS, which is known for cosmetics, which is known for companies like Samsung and Hyundai, within one day, the entire country, changed. And the entire world is talking about what happened in South Korea, right? So moving from South Korea political crisis to South China Sea. So China's ships are harassing, Philippines, they are harassing Vietnam and Philippines. They are planning to buy weapons from America. They are planning to buy weapons from India also to counter the Chinese. And Chinese claims are increasing. Chinese, I think on 30th of December, we had covered that news. Chinese 6th generation fighter aircraft, that is J-36, and they also now have the world's largest amphibious assault ship. China also has the world's largest navy. So in technology, in weapons, they are challenging the Americans that come Indo-Pacific and let's see what you can do. Okay, so China is building military bases. Taiwan report, China military present 3 jets, 6 warships surrounding Taiwan, and that is why, China's, budget has increased more than 7% for its defense, and they are getting these weapons on war footing. And with the coming of Trump, I think it's increasing. So region is a flashpoint for conflict with escalating militarization. So India-China border progress in Ladakh, I think we have covered this, so I will not go into this. Iran, a regime in crisis, again a problem. Iran had access of resistance. Hezbollah, Hamas, and then Houthis, 3 groups, the 3 terror puppets and groups, destabilizing that entire Middle East. Now these groups have been dismantled. Hezbollah, north of Litani River, Israel has taken care of it. Hamas being dismantled in Gaza area. Houthis, air attacks by Israelis. So these 3 terror groups, or the puppets of under the axis of resistance of Iran, has gone. Iran struggling with lot of inflation. Iran struggling also that in Syria they are Bashar al-Assad, the puppet, or the Syrian dictator, I should say, the Syrian president dictator who was under the Iran regime in hand, even the Russia included. He has also fled and gone to the Russia. So Iran's hegemony coming down. They are struggling with inflation. Even an attack was done by Israel, and they don't have that kind of hegemony they had, and they were not even able to, help Bashar al-Assad. So Hezbollah gone, Hamas gone, Houthis gone. They have been decimated. They might be around 10-15%, but again, they can rise again. So rebellious citizens challenging the Ayatollah Khamenei, he might also go. Iran faces a critical choice, easing control or pursuing nuclear ambitions. Proxy networks are weakening, adding to regime instability. And with the coming of Donald Trump, who is against Iran, things are looking very difficult for Iran in the coming time. So Middle East, I think Gaza, Israel, HTS has taken. So HTS was a rebel group, a terrorist group. Now they have certainly become, because Abu Julani started wearing coats, coat pant and suits, and suddenly the Americans are interested in talking to him. The Europeans are interested in talking to him, and they see that Syria will rise under this Abu Julani. So that is what is happening. So Abu Julani, basically this group HTS, it used to be in Idlib, and from that they went to Aleppo. They captured Aleppo to Homs, Hama, and eventually Damascus. In this, not exactly in this order, but they started from Aleppo. Within 5 to 10 days, they were able to occupy. They were supported by the Turkey army, and it is also said that the Turkey was supported by the Americans, because Turkey will not do anything. It's a member of NATO, right? So the Americans and Turkey might be behind it, and suddenly the Syria has gone out of the hands of the Iran and Russia. Russians had a lot of important bases there, important ports. So this has also gone. So HTS takes over Syria. So it's a new crisis or opportunity, or if there any militant group will rise, or is this HTS the new Taliban, or it will actually work for Syrians, time will tell. Ukraine energy crisis amid war. So this war started in February 2022. It is still continuing, and Russians are attacking their power installments. Their power, the electricity installment, power areas. Energy infrastructure, power infrastructure, leaving 5 lakh in Kyiv without power. So basically taking down their morale so that Ukraine people, they don't fight. Africa, Sudan, a 20-month conflict between paramilitary forces and the army escalates, famine spreads as per UN warming. Mozambique is also having a problem after the post-election verdict which is coming. So in Africa also this civil strife continues. North America, Donald Trump prepares for a disruptive second term, saying that I would increase tariff to around 66% against China. Russia-Ukraine war, he wants to end on the first day. Israel also, I think he will not go with the fancy ideas of Benjamin Netanyahu to continue the war against the entire Middle East, because the president is very, he wants to do business, he wants to grow economically, and his focus is making America great again. So if the war continues, the Make America Great Again, the MAGA campaign will not. So personally, I feel the target would be against China, semiconductor, AI technology. Tariff wars is an area he would be using against Mexico, Canada, China. I think with India, the solution will come out, because Donald Trump and Prime Minister Modi share a very good, relationship. If you remember, when Donald Trump won the election, 3 important calls he took in the starting were from Benjamin Netanyahu, Mohammed bin Salman, and Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India. So Russia-Ukraine war, Israel, Russia, US, China arms race might increase. It is already increasing. China got 6th generation fighter jet, and then they already have J-35, 5th generation, J-36, the 6th generation, and the next one is your the world's, I think, the largest amphibious assault ship. Canada, Trudeau faces isolation. I think his international career for now seems to be over. So global reflection 2024. So multiple war, regime changes, humanitarian crisis, Syria regime change, Bangladesh regime change. It is also a conspiracy that it is said that Sheikh Hasina, she shares that one foreigner had come. He was asking for a port. I denied the port, and because of this, the entire revolt started against me. The civil unrest, and the Americans might be behind it. So it happened in Syria. It happened also in Bangladesh. One thing which I've always maintained, I think if the Russia-Ukraine war ends, one of the biggest losers should be Vladimir Zelensky. And why I say that? Because he has lost, around 20% of the Ukraine. He will not be able to join NATO. America will make sure that they do join NATO. Might be some NATO forces would be there, but Russia economically has issues. But in the context what Ukraine wanted, so much of decimation, infrastructure has been destroyed. I think Zelensky need to think that was his decision correct or not. I'm not saying that what Russia did was correct, but what the point of view of Zelensky to go, on rampage to join the NATO and this war, was it worth it? Time will tell. So Pope's Christmas sermon called for global peace, urgent issue in Ukraine and Middle East, global economy outlook, moderate growth around 2.7%. Emerging economies like India will be up, US would be up, but the Chinese will be down. They had a target of around 5.1 or 5.2%, but they are around 4.6, 4.7%, so they will not be able to achieve their targets. So year 2024, so multiple war, regime changes. Okay, we have done this. So key observation, normalization of chaos. We have started accepting that what happened Russia, Ukraine, it's a part of it. What started on 7th October 2023, the attack, the dreaded attack by militants on Israel, we have accepted it. We need to resolve this chaos, otherwise the world economy will not move. So we need to resolve the geopolitical tension, humanitarian crisis from Gaza to Sudan. So this is the question. Assess the impact of regional conflicts in 2024 on global peace and stability. Suggest ways to address these challenges. It's a wonderful question. Please do write your answer in the comment section, and I would definitely be waiting for that. So we have covered India, we have covered Indian, international and international geopolitics also. Now we come to resolutions for 2025. So we all make resolution, but within 10 days, 15 days of hitting the gym or everything, it goes for me also. I'm also thinking about doing it. Our resolution should be based on this pattern. It should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be attainable, it should be relevant, and it should be time bound. for example, specific. Rather than saying completing the UPSC syllabus, it should be, for example, polity, I will complete 3 chapters of Lakshmikant. Then measurable, it is measurable that you want to complete 3 chapters. Attainable, that how much time will you take to complete that? It is attainable in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or 3 days, 4 days. And is it relevant? Obviously it should be relevant to you, it should be relevant to your goal, and it should be time bound. So if you have put 10 days or 2 weeks, it has to be done in 10 days or 2 weeks. So you can make small goals and work towards it. For example, if you want to hit the gym and say you want to reduce the weight, so thinking about reducing 20 kgs, it is better that you start thinking about reducing, going day on day basis and putting a target of 500 grams or 1 kg. Similarly, small targets will help you. So this is one formula which you can use, the SMART formula for your resolutions 2025. Okay, so with this, I end the session today, and I hope you did enjoy it. We have recapped everything. Probably we must have missed a lot of things also. You can put that in the comment section. And also, Happy New Year to once again to everyone. And I hope you get whatever you want, the legitimate and positive things which you are looking for. And I hope you are enjoying this daily decodes. It's a huge initiative, and I keep saying we are a very connected family. Okay, you write, I write, we work upon it, and this is how we grow. So please do mention in the comment section, how do you find daily decodes? Was this 2024 recap, entire year recap, did you like it? What are your thoughts on it? I would certainly, this is what motivates me, this is what motivates us at Insights IAS, because a lot of preparation and everything goes behind it, and you will definitely get the PDF, everything related to this. And Happy New Year to all of you once again. And one important announcement, that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, I am traveling. So I will not be available for Daily Decode. I would be available on 6th. That Daily Decode will start from Hyderabad. That time I would be in Hyderabad. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I'm going to Delhi to meet my family. It has been a long, I think around 2-3 months I've not met. However, I need to meet my family out there, and want to say Happy New Year to them also, in person, I mean. And so thank you very much. Please do like the session, share the session, and press the bell icon, and please do comment, and also watch our the podcast which is coming on nepotism. The next one would be on UPSC interview, artificial intelligence, if they are replacing teachers. So many wonderful sessions coming. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind.